Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages and non-binary. I'm your host, Dom, aka Jurassic Parker, also known as the guy with the big red ranger behind him in his room with all the rest of the toys. This is BearatNight podcast, and this is going to be a little different, but it's all part of the lore of the show. Hate it or love it is the segment, and the topic is nostalgia. Now, growing up, we all want to rush to be like from kids to grown-ups. And then when you get to be a grown-up, you realize you don't like it. It doesn't work. It just doesn't fit for what you thought it was going to be. And then you start to almost harken back to the old days and start remembering when you didn't have no responsibilities, no bills, and you were just a little bit more happier. That's what this is going to be about. This is what everything is about with this episode. And apparently, nostalgia has kicked in for a lot of millennials, and also pop culture, just the US, everywhere, especially in the media. That's where a lot of people are getting their money from, is betting on the millennials. So harken back to the good old days when they didn't have anything to do, but they didn't have no money, but now they do. So they want to relive those days, but with the added money that they have to make them feel a little bit happier. So we have all these different movies, TV shows, getting us back to those good old feelings. But is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Today we're going to talk about it, and I have a very special guest who's very cool, very smart, smarter than me, very smart. So that's double. That's a big deal. And she's a therapist, so she knows what she's talking about, and you're going to hear it, and this is going to be great. Her name is Valayshia Bookins, and thank you for coming on to the show. I hope I didn't mess up the name too bad. I already hope. Not too bad. Because the whole time as I said this, I'm saying everything, but also saying your name in my head on repeat to make sure I don't mess up.
Yeah, Valayshia is perfect.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for hopping on. To give y'all a backstory, I do the cons and everything, and this past Terrificon, one of the highlights of that weekend was meeting this young lady and getting to talk for a bit, and we talked about nostalgia, and I thought this would be a great topic for an episode, and we made it work. She's a popular, busy lady. She makes me want to do more with my life right now. She has a lot of fun, and she makes being a mature, grown up look easy, and she does it, and her fashion is off the hook. I'm just saying, fashion is crazy. I gotta learn some stuff from her. So, how you doing? Thank you for hopping on.
I'm okay. We're okay today. Okay today. I have energy. I'm awake. I'm alive. We're here.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. So I mean, like I mentioned before, we talked at Terrificon, and that was your first convention, right? Am I correct?
Yes, very first.
So how did you enjoy it? Did you think of it?
I think it was a lot of fun. I think it was a whole lot of fun. I think it looked a lot like the movies. When people dressed up, and I was just like, maybe you guys could get an outfit out of me next time. But
you think you going to? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I would definitely go again. Definitely go again.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure I'll be there. You need some pointers, you need some ideas. I got you. I got you. So, yes, you know what? Yes, just TV does kind of match up perfectly with the way it did look. So, now, did you get to buy anything? Does anything remind you from when you were younger and all that stuff?
I got a Charizard of stuffed animal. And it's not super huge. It's only And like
But it's cute.
size. It's cute. And then there's also like a little Pokeball, a pink Pokeball that goes on my keychain that I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's dope. Like seeing you really, I think when I first saw you, I'm like, is she lost? Is she likes this? She's into this? Like, what is? But it was really cool to, you always get everybody different walks of life at a convention, and I always tell people you got to go at least once in your life. You meet so much, and you never know what might spark your interest, because it might be something new, and like you said, you might want to try to do some cosplay next time. So
yeah,
you might.
I can't say that this was something entirely new, and I think. Okay. I think there's some stereotypes there, right? Like girls who go to Comic-Cons and they don't get dressed must be lost. And you're not the only person who thought I was lost, by the way. Like, I think everybody thought I was lost. And I don't know if it's because I was just so like wide-eyed about everything happening, or if I really just look like I don't belong there.
Anybody that goes to a con belongs there. I feel that way. If you're there, you belong.
For sure, I was definitely welcomed, but I can't say that somebody would have picked me out and be like, I know that you're on your way here.
Yeah,
right? Like, I don't think that was the case at all. I also don't think it was like far-fetched from my interests. So, and I don't think I wear my interests on my sleeve, so to speak. Like some people, you can kind of look at them and their aesthetic and just say, okay, well, this person, based on their aesthetic, I can tell maybe into X, Y, or Z. And I think the many layers of my personality don't expose that or those parts of me. Right. Like someone can look at me and go, okay, well, maybe she likes fashion. Or somebody can go ahead and say, well, maybe, she's into more like artsy things. Right. But I think Comic-Con would have definitely been a stretch, I think, at least on the face. Right. But, growing up, you watch your cartoons and, you have your Halloween costumes that you can't wait to wear, like little things like that. And I think part of this experience, going to Terrificon was reconnecting in that way. Right. Okay. That's true. I you know what? First off, it's like, first glance, it's that saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. So it is very true. It is very true. So I think, like if I would have saw you coming into the casino, I don't know which direction you're gonna go, but I was like, I definitely know she's not going to that con though. She ain't going to that con. Yeah. But then lo and behold, there you are. Yeah, I think even the people that gave me the ticket, like, were still like, are you sure, like, you're supposed to be here? Like, you're looking for this? Yeah. And it didn't help that I was late, right? So, like, are you sure you're that long? So I totally get it. But yeah, I was very intentional about going. Well, I think it was dope to see you there. I think the thing that was, to me, way more surprising was that, your profession. And honestly, for me, I don't really get to see that. I don't think a lot of people get to see that a lot. So, people that look like us or whatnot. So, especially a female, which is in the profession, your field, is like, and also so young too. So it's like, I saw the eye. But yes, I said it. Yeah, young, because you expect someone always older. Like way older or something like that. So it's just like, see someone that looks like you right now, and it's like, wow, oh, that's even dope. Because I have nieces, so I always like to say, yo, you can do this, you can do that. Check this person out. Check this, whatever. So seeing that for me, it's like, oh, this is somebody that I could like show my niece or whatever. Like, oh, look at what she does. It's just, I always love that part of, with seeing what people do, and like, I always like, oh, look what they do, and give it to my niece and my nephew. Like, hey, this is, maybe you might want to do this one day, or you can just look at it, check it out. You could do, there's other avenues you could take, So I applaud that. That's your profession, just that, and just you doing what you do. Now, when we talked about the nostalgia aspect, what's your feel? What's your take on
because on just the whole culture right now, because like right now we have Tron Ares out right now, which is an old IP that they put out because they know people want to see it. They're banking on the nostalgia factor of everything, because some kids saw the second movie, Tron Legacy, and you have part of their parents that saw Tron, the first Tron movie in the 80s or whatever. So they're banking on nostalgia for sure. And I think that's what Hollywood especially is doing a lot of. That's why you get so many sequels and prequel movies, all that stuff. And now you got toys. The fandom is crazy right now. So, and I feel like, is it a good thing for us, or are we, on a pacifier of it all? Because I love it, but it's also give us a break away from what we got going on nowadays.
I think that's a loaded question.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
There's layers, right? So is it great for capitalism? Sure, for sure. Is it great for us as a culture? I mean, if it's being used as a distraction from adult responsibilities, absolutely, right? And I know that, life has changed so much over the last 5 years. Just here in the States alone, globally as well, but definitely here in the States, life has pivoted so much in the last 5 years. Cost of living has gone up. A lot of people just kind of waking up to the woes that involve our government leadership and just, different things that affect us in ways that maybe we weren't affected before.
Right.
And it's a learning curve, and a lot of people kind of trying to find new ways to de-stress. And I think some of that de-stressing comes with avoidance for some people. Not everyone, obviously, but some people may use that as a source of avoidance. And going back to soothing that inner child can be it. And I mean, obviously, if that's the only thing you're doing, that's not a great thing.
Right.
I also think that in creating some of these sequels, that stem from our childhood, you're able to create a bridge between generations. And I think that is valuable. I think, if me and my niece are both watching the same shows, and I'm like, you have to watch the first one because the first one was better than this one, right? Like now, here it is. I have something in common with a 7-year-old.
Right.
Right. And it doesn't have to be forced. I don't have to fake liking it. I don't have to fake being interested. That's true. It's not being done in a pacifying way. It's like, I genuinely like this, and I'm genuinely sharing this experience with, someone I care for and someone I'm trying to stay connected to. I also think that as we grow, assuming that our perspective has shifted from the first time we've seen some of these things to now, in adulthood, that we're able to see more. And I think there were some messages that were maybe, I won't say hidden, but not as obvious as they are to us in adulthood. So there's some teachable moments that happen throughout a lot of the shows and a lot of the movies that we watched. Some good, some not so great. But there's I think a lot to dissect from like a media standpoint. Some of that may be very, very worthwhile.
Gotcha. I mean, you're right. I see that. I feel like I have met some folks that just live in the nostalgia, but kind of neglecting the actual real world of it all. Like, you do get things called bills and whatnot, like, but they just don't want to leave. They just, and then I do see the effects on it. I have seen the effect of just only doing that, and it doesn't really look good.
Unless paying the bills, right? Like, unless you're nostalgia somehow making sure that you get your bills paid, obviously you need to be doing more than that.
Yes, true. And you're right, when it comes to bridging that gap, I think that's like so cool. Like when you're able to do that, especially like what you said with your niece. And I remember doing that. Me, my sister, and my brother-in-law tried to do that with their kids, and we were trying to watch Candyman. the first one. And, you know, as a kid, you know, we all got scared of Candyman. Shout outs to Tony Todd, rest in peace. We all got scared, you know, say the 5 times in the mirror. You know, I still to this day, I can't go past 4. I can't do it because you know, even though I know it's a movie, I know, but I remember we tried to watch it, like, it scared us as a kid and all that stuff. These kids just watched it like nothing. We jumped. They didn't jump at anything. I was like, oh, this thing ain't got y'all? It ain't got y'all like that? Oh, okay. We just, it was over. It was like, we tried to bridge that gap. Like, did it get y'all? Did it get y'all scared? It ain't do nothing for them. I was like, damn.
I think these younger kids, they live with a lot of protections too. And so there's like I almost call it like a Superman syndrome, where they feel like invincible. They are invincible because they've been so heavily protected. And I think that on one hand is a ode to great parenting, right? Like, you made your kids feel so safe that they feel like nothing's going to happen to them and like nothing can touch them and everything is like negotiable. Whereas we were like very exposed, and our parents are like, listen, if you do that, you might not make it. And there's nothing that I could do to help you, right? And understanding consequences, I think, you know, when they're older, of course, it's going to be something to know, something to pay attention to. But I think we learned consequences a little earlier. Lots of things happen, you know, for millennials in terms of, you know, child safety and things like that. So I think we were on our toes a little more in survival mode than some of these kids.
That's true. We lived through a lot of situations. Like, really think about it, like, like what is it? 9/11. We had SARS. We had Y2K.
We thought we weren't gonna make it to see another day.
Yeah,
right? We're just like, oh my God, it's 2000. It's just like, we were like saying bye to our classmates.
That's true. Like, what was it? When it hit 2000, that's when it's over. It's over. And that clock's through. Like, oh, what was it? No, what was it? What was the Mayans thing? Was it 2020? And we thought, oh, here we go again with another one. And then nothing happened. You know, well, then COVID did show up. Then we're like, oh, we got another thing to deal with. And it was just another thing after another. And it's like, we got hit a lot of times. So I guess maybe the nostalgia kind of helped in a way with certain things. Like, to go back to, especially during COVID, I think a lot of people went back to watch a lot of old shows and stuff that to get them through that time, whatever. Do you have any like coping shows or movies that you like to watch when you're in a slump? Do you have one? Do you have a few? What is it? What do you watch?
I can't say I really watch anything, and I think I'm weird that way.
Or read? Do you have anything you read over?
I think that there's things that I absolutely love, but I can't say that I binge on any one specific thing. Right. So if it's in front of me, if it's there, it's like, oh wow, like look at this. Oh, I remember this. But I can't say it's one specific thing. I know there's, you know, a bunch of shows that come up even in conversation, like, you know, with me and my siblings, or like, you know, jokes.
Right.
You know, and kind of like the Wild Thornberrys, and we were talking about Donnie, and like, how, you know, kind of like putting in the context for like present day, like those types of conversations. You know, I don't know if you remember Wild Thornberrys, but like Donnie was the wild child. Like, nobody understood, but I was like, you know, he may have literally just been speaking another language that sounds like gibberish to anyone who doesn't understand the language, which is like how it is where you go to a different country. Everything sounds jumbled and like nonsense, right? But we kind of like joked on him because he wasn't civilized, and like, what is civilized? Like those kind of conversations. You know, obviously I picked up Pokemon. I used to watch Pokemon all the time. Wrestling was another one. So watching, you know, our favorite wrestlers and stuff like that.
Now, you say wrestling, I gotta know. Who was your person? Did you have a person?
Undertaker was my person.
Okay, you had okay.
Yeah, Undertaker was my person. It's like very Scorpio coded, right? Yeah, so that was that. you know, just Sailor Moon. I had Sailor Moon sheets as a kid. That was like a big thing. I was kind of checking for Sailor Moon at Comic-Con. I was kind of like, oh man, you guys don't have it. Or also, like, the store was so massive, I could have missed it.
You probably could have. I think there's at least one spot at a con that has at least one or two Sailor Moon things, either a bag or a figure or something.
Yeah, I think I could have missed that one, but Sailor Moon was definitely it. You know, we were talking about like Powerpuff Girls, and there was like a thread about how Mojo Jojo was just kind of trying to exist, and the poor thing just kept getting beat up.
No, I see. Also, the thing is, I see like when it comes to nostalgia and the whole thing. I see people are like this generation now are kind of going back to what we watched and critiquing it and picking up things that maybe we didn't notice. Or, you know, and whatnot, and we didn't notice, but we like, hey, leave it alone, that's our stuff. That was, you know, and it's kind of like, but then when you kind of go back, like, it kind of honestly kind of ruins a little bit, because now that they picked on it a little bit, now you notice it, it's like, oh, okay. But still, now because, you know, everything's so PC, you know, all that stuff now. So, you know, shows and whatnot, movies used to get away with a lot. Cartoons used to get away with a lot, but I think showing those things when we got to watch those, it made us a little bit like better to handle things with life than how they got things now.
I can totally agree with that. I think in terms of like coping skills, is it cool to go back and like watch your favorite show? Yeah, of course. I think going back to critique it, I don't know how much that's worth. I think context makes a difference. I think, you know, obviously, like, there's different inferences we can make as adults. I think there's some things that, again, some parents feel like they have to protect or shield their kids from, that we weren't necessarily shielded from. But also, like, I mean, in terms of coping, I think there are some generations that are doing better than others.
Right.
You know, and I think that can speak to, you know, how early you expose children to certain things, and obviously within limits, right? You know, expose them to everything. But, you know, when you're an adult and everything's kind of like hitting you all at once, and you haven't had any mental preparation, like not even a little bit, because you're used to like rainbows and butterflies all day with no even like dark humor.
Yeah, true.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed as an adult.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, there's that. Political correctness, I think, is a really, really slippery slope.
Okay.
Right? I think that there's a certain level of respect that can be maintained reasonably. I think when we get into anything that goes beyond respect, now we're talking preferences and comfortability. And to tailor everything to a comfortability that even the most sensitive person can maintain, that's hard. Yeah. And I think you can demonize just about anything you want to demonize.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that got me, I think a while ago, I forgot it's a singer. I forgot her name. But she was watching the Martin show. She was watching Martin, and she was like, oh, it's very colorism on this show, and Martin is like always getting on Pam because she's dark skinned and talk about her hair. And I know I watched the show plenty of times as a kid, and like they got back on each other so many times, but at the same time there was a common mutual friendship there, because his girlfriend, that's his girlfriend's best friend, and vice versa. But they also like, we can mess with each other, but you're not going to get on that person either. You know, they had a bond there, and when they kept, you know, they always had it back and forth, but it was never disrespectful. You know, and like, I don't know how she saw it to be like colors, like, because she was a darker skinned woman, and Gina was light skinned, but it was like they had this whole thing. And I'm like, and I think a lot of millennials, and I saw the comments and stuff, they were like, what is she talking about? This is this, and they always joked on each other. Pam got on him all the time and talk about how short he is, and it wasn't never once that he talked about her skin color. He always talked about she looked like, she looked what is it? She looked like a horse or something like that. Like, or like, we can't get there. Oh yeah, let's get on top of Pam and we can get there faster. Little jokes there, but it was never. I don't know. It was never a heartfelt, a hurtful thing. And then you see the behind the scenes that he talked about. They always went over everything, and they were friends. So they wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah, I think when we critique things, I think there's a certain level of responsibility that has to be had for how we do so, and I think context is really important.
Right.
And I think when you remove the context, again, everything gets really gray and it's a really slippery slope. Because like I said, if you want to look for the bad in something, you can pick anything apart, right? Someone can tell you to have a good day and you can flip it around and say, well, who are you to tell me what kind of day I should have, right? Like you can literally flip anything that you want.
That's true.
According to the perspective you're choosing to operate in, right? Yeah. I think rapport makes a difference. When you're joking with someone, there's certain things that your friends and your family can say to you that people outside can't say to you.
That's
right.
True.
Like that's just it. Yeah. And some of that includes things that we may be sensitive about, but we know that from these people, it's not being done with malice. And then, from someone else, we may have to question the intentions of it. True. So rapport makes a difference. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the rapport that Martin and Pam had.
Right.
I think also who knows their boyfriend to want to be cool with their
Exactly.
girlfriend's best friend? Like, why are you trying to be cool with your girlfriend's best friend?
That's true. Because right?
If you're a little too comfortable, we got questions.
Yeah, you should if I had a girlfriend and she's like, hey, my friends are over, I'm like, oh, okay, I can stand it a little bit, but it's like, how long they're gonna be over? Mm-hmm. It's like I don't got a problem with them over, but how long they gonna stay? How long? It's just how long we got, so I can know not to come out the room, or I can just take a drive and go somewhere else for a little bit.
Exactly. And I think that plays a role. How welcome, did he overstay her welcome a few times? I think yes. It's also thinking about when he started, when they started the bickering, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's because either Pam overstepped a boundary, right?
Yeah.
And I think there are some unspoken boundaries that some friends overstep when you're in a relationship.
That's true.
I think there's a lot of reasons, and that playful bickering can just let someone know where your boundary is without it having to be a moment of conflict.
That's true.
And some people use comedy to deflect from conflict, but still make the point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think we all do that in some regard. At some point. And if you haven't, you probably will. So, to say her being a Black woman or a darker complected Black woman, and that being the sole reason why Martin picked on her, I can't say so, because he talked about Gina too.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, he kicked everybody out the house, even Gina. He got tired of everybody.
And that was Martin's character. So I think context is really, really important, especially as we're dissecting some of the messages from our nostalgic shows. And I just think it's the responsibility to maintain.
Mm-hmm. And as I think about it now, as I remember watching the show, there was never a time where it was only Martin that fussed with her, but it was never a time where I saw because he tried to make it like a colorist thing, but there's never a time I can remember that I watched the show and a guest on the show or another guy that wasn't Martin wasn't somebody trying to hit on Pam. Mm-hmm. Pretty much every guy that was there tried to hit on Pam. Who was that? Who's your friend? They never played the fact. Did the whole thing? She's ugly or something. No, Pam was beautiful. She was a beautiful woman, and they made sure to have guests. They had the guests there and try to holler at her. Even Tommy, he didn't have a job, but he still made an effort.
Yeah, I mean, I would be more on the side of like if there was something to be upset about with that show, like the caricature of Shanae, right? As like the most ghetto girl, like the most extreme thing, right? Or you know, when they said Tommy ain't got no job, and Tommy was a social worker. When I had to look it up, and Tommy was a social worker, I was like, oh my.
Okay, that's what he was. That's what Tommy was.
Yes, and so me and my brother kind of jokes on me all the time. He's like, "All right, Tommy, you know, because you know, when you have certain flexibility in your job that's like suspicious, it's like you don't have a real job, right?
That makes sense.
You don't really have a job. You're a liar."
Yeah.
But he was a social worker. You know, or like bro man from the fifth floor, like he was the real problem. Right, like and they were nice to him. Yeah.
I don't know how he kept coming in their house. He's always in their house somehow, some way. He's in their house, and they never get like, "Hey, you want to leave?" Or they never called the police or nothing. I think their food.
Yeah, I think for as many, you know, culturally, you know, centered jokes that are in Martin, there were also points of awareness, right? Like there was a episode with the officer who was stealing out of the apartments, and he was a white officer. Exactly a white officer. And they found him out. And, you know, it was just like the veil lifted, right? It's like it wasn't a random black guy in a mask, it was this white cop that you needed to be more aware of. You know, I think just kind of like not judging the book by its cover kind of situation where it's like no one is above doing certain types of things. True. So you have to consider everyone as a suspect and not just the stereotypes. Right. I think that was a big deal. So I think there were also, you know, some really informative things, you know, in terms of cultural awareness. I think that there were some relationship dynamics that were worthy of exploring. Like, I think, you know, there's so much, like, you know, I can understand that a lot of the lead, I'll call it like the lead women in some of our favorite nostalgic shows were of lighter complexion. Right. I don't know what the reason for that is. And I don't know if it's just that those were the most popular at the time and we're maybe overlooking the fact that there were other shows that actually did have women of darker complexions.
But you know what, as you said that, they did. So you have Family Matters. You had Fresh Prince, we all know. Trying to think of the shows. But, or just matter of fact, I remember, so those shows, they both had two moms that were dark-skinned. And matter of fact, they were strong. Like, they spoke their mind. They strong-minded. They had opinions and stuff. They were great. And then, whatever the case may be behind the scenes, they get replaced with a light-skinned woman. And not to be, you know, that the light-skinned mom was, like, horrible or nothing. But she was very docile. She was very she didn't talk too much. You know, like I remember seeing that Family Matters did it later on in the season, and we all know about, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But then you also had even just kids on shows. My Wife and Kids. It was a dark-skinned older sister, and then she left the show, and they replaced her with a light-skinned girl. So, I mean, that happened. Yeah, it happened quite a bit.
Yeah, you know, I'm not negating that, right? I don't know what the reason for that is or was. I do understand the power of media and the messages that it sends, especially to young brown girls. Yeah. You know, in terms of like how they should be, or what's acceptable, or, you know, what is valuable, you know, in terms of like not just culture but society at large. You know, and I think that, you know, all that's worth considering. Yeah. But should I not watch these shows as part of the nostalgia and still be able to laugh at them? or to still be able to enjoy them to some degree. Right. I think if there's anything that you don't like about what you see in media, you have a responsibility in your home to challenge it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think if you're relying solely on media to validate how you should behave or how you should show up or what is of value, then you're not doing your part.
True. I said this earlier about one of your many attributes, and one of them is fashion. Because I peeped the fashion game. You know how to dress. Now, you know how to dress, girl. You know how to dress. So I'm noticing the trend now, because it's one of those things I remember as a kid. I always learned like from grown-ups. It was like, oh, this was out when I was a kid or when I was younger. Fashion always comes back around. They always do. So now that I'm noticing, like, we had certain looks over the years, now some of the outfits and the shoes and everything are coming back around. And it's like, how do you feel about that? Be like, is a certain, I know you had certain outfits or certain shoes you used to wear, and you're like, oh, I had that like when this happened. Oh, this is new then? This is new again? This is hot new stuff right now? Like how do you feel with seeing the fashions you might have worn before coming back? Or with younger the high schoolers are wearing it. It's like, I wore that when I was in high school.
Okay, two things. I think the first is when I threw out all my clothes those times, I probably should have held on to them. That was my first thought. There are some things that I'm like, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah.
When people think like your clothes are old, just wait.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the other part being like some of the ways, some of the styles I remix, I'm like, it looks a little not something I would want promoted.
Right.
I think some of the looks are just like for videos. I don't think some of the looks are appropriate for teenage girls. Like that just stuff. But I'm also a person who thinks like kids should stay kids and not be able to be confused with adults.
Right. Exactly. I feel the same way.
Yeah. I just, that's me. I think there's artistic expression that can still be age appropriate. Yeah, but those are my only real thoughts about it. I still have a few things that I'm just like, I'm so glad I still have it.
Right.
And I have other things that, I look at and I'm like, oh, I would buy this because it reminds me of, and I'm looking at the price tag and I'm like,
yeah,
$10.
Yeah. Now you wish you would have held on to that back in the day. Like, I'm noticing even like, right now, I'm starting to see people wearing baggier clothes again. And I'm like, oh, now just like you about the throwing away some of your stuff. I was like, damn, I threw away. Now y'all bringing it back. Okay, so we going back to 05? We doing this again? We going back? Okay. Like, let me go get back my tall tees again and my headbands, because that's what I literally saw a kid today at my job wearing something that I would have worn at that time frame when I was a kid, and was like, oh my God, it's back? When did that happen? When, like, I saw it was a kid was wearing the wrist, like the wristband, for the headband, the wristband. I was like, wow, when did that come back? Okay, all right, this is different. I did not notice this. Once again, I feel old and okay, but it just took me back to like hear somebody say, fashion always comes back around. So
yeah, I mean, even like with designers, like there's some, like as a teenager, I had a aunt who would buy me like these baby Louis bags,
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, like, as an adult, I don't really value them the same way because I had them so early and I didn't really know what to do with them then either. I think the price tag could have encouraged me a little bit, but I had no idea and nobody made me pay for stuff. So I was just, I was just a kid, just a girl, just a kid. And I think even seeing it now is just like, oh my gosh, you see these girls posing with these little baby Louis bags.
What is it? Ed Hardy is another thing. I
saw my sneakers the other day. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was at Fashion Nova because I get my Fashion Nova men's stuff and I always like check what's the newest thing, what's out, like, and I saw like Ed Hardy. And then they had a Von Dutch hat. I'm like, Von Dutch? Well, at the time I couldn't afford a Von Dutch hat when I was younger in high school because I didn't know where to buy it at. But and Ed Hardy too, it was like I didn't know to get it at the time. Now that I'm an adult, it's like I don't want it because it's like it's not the real thing. It's like it's a Fashion Nova brand version of it. It's not the real thing. So, but it was just like it's just so funny to see that that look is coming back, or people are wearing it because I'm seeing it on Instagram here and there too. It's like they got the Ed Hardy looks and stuff. It's like, wow. Wait about 20 years and they'll come back around.
Yeah, I had to go grab some things out of my mom's basement, like some of my old stuff. And she's like cleaning out her house. And I was just like, I could go get that box of shoes out of there for you. And my Ed Hardy sneakers are in there. And I pulled them out and me and my brother used to work at the mall back in 2009, so it was like a big deal, right? Like they used to go like crazy. And he was like, "There's no way you're gonna wear that." There's no way. I was like, "No, I absolutely will." I have the low tops, skinny coat. I got a shirt to match. You just wait.
Oh shoot.
So yeah, I have a little crop shirt that says all that on it with like the logo. I have a bunch of like random stuff.
That's funny.
I think it's really just how you want to incorporate it. I think now, right? Like you can still get dressed as an adult. I don't know how adult you're gonna look, but if you and the kids are wearing the same thing, I don't know how grown you expect to look. But I think there's a lot of ways to incorporate, things that are nostalgic into current day fashion. As a part of just independent expression. Like you're allowed to do that. I don't know if I would go all the way back to headbands and long tees. I don't know. Yeah. I've also never been a guy, so
no, you know what? I would like to see I would like to kind of go back to like I saw a post somebody showed like girls in the 90s when they was wearing like the Tommy Hilfiger, like, but it was like the Aaliyah look, like the bagginess, but it was like you didn't like. It wasn't about showing skin. It was just being cool, and pretty much everybody dressed the same, guys and girls. But it's just like it was just the look. Everybody just being cool, but it was just like I don't know. It was something about seeing that picture. It was like, damn, that she was bad, but it's in a different way. It was just from different what we got now, but it was just like, oh, that'd be kind of crazy if we see girls do this again. Like, that'd be kind of a cool thing, but to each his own. But it's just maybe I just want to see some Tommy Hilfigers because Tommy Hilfiger was dope back in the day.
I think okay. I'm a little biased because I think I live in the crop top outside of work like all year.
Well, like I said, Aaliyah was doing both. She had the whole thing. Like that was the look for her and a lot of girls back too.
But also that was an engineered look for Aaliyah. That wasn't like her base, right? Like that tomboy look was not her like by default.
Right.
It was what they said was going to be marketed for her. But I think you do have some girls that are like genuinely tomboys who genuinely like being comfortable or just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. And I think when you prioritize comfort, you get certain looks.
That's true. I think comfort always wins overall, though, because if it's comfortable, then more people are going to flock to it. This is like everybody loves wearing a hoodie. Hoodies, everybody love it. It's comfortable. It's safe. It has everything. It has layers to it. So
pockets.
In pockets.
Anything with the pockets. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true because I try not to buy too many hoodies because I'm afraid because the moment I do get a girlfriend, my hoodie's gonna be gone. Like I've had this happen before, so like I learned my lesson a long time ago, like not to have too many hoodies. So but I do love a good hoodie. I can't help it. Do you think that? Yeah, my cat is weird. Just doing random stuff. With the nostalgia stuff going on, do you think there's a certain cutoff to it? Like to keep, like the fashion, is there a certain cutoff that you think for adults, or do you think it's it's all right? Everybody can still live in it, just moderations and stuff.
I think it depends on what you're focused on, right? Obviously, there's time and place for everything.
Yeah.
Right. And the 90s gave us a lot of different looks too.
It did.
So, I feel like there's a look for everything.
True.
Right? Like even, Fresh Prince, you had his cousin, oh my God, I'm blanking. Like she, pretty much dialed up, right? Like she had her cute little skirts, like how they have on Clueless, Chanel has some renditions of that. She got some too.
What was it? Ashley was the younger sister. It was the older sister. She had the Clueless look. I know you talking about.
Yes. Yeah, but even some of Ashley's looks too, though. Mm-hmm. So you have those. You got Whitley from A Different World giving looks. You have a wide range, right? You have the Huxtables with their looks, right? And even down to the boho look. There's so many.
What? The boho?
Yeah, boho. More artsy, kind of freelance.
Okay. Is that how what's the name from Girlfriends was boho look? Is that Okay. All right. Yeah. I had to think. I don't know. I vividly thought of that look.
Even Girlfriends, every one of the girls had a little bit of a different aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I think they dressed really maturely, and you could tell that they were people who had somewhere to go.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But still, their outfits were worth looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you could definitely dress like an adult and still have the nostalgia. I think it's just time and place. You're not gonna wear baggy pants and a crop top to a gala. You're just not.
True. Unless you're A$AP Rocky. Because you would.
I mean, unless you are an entertainer, right? But if you have a career where people are going to be looking at you and taking pictures, and you might get posted to the company website, I think you might want to rethink that.
Yeah, my fact, only not even just A$AP. I can see Rihanna doing that. That'd be her.
But that's also different because they own their brands,
right?
And if you are yourself not a brand and don't own one yet, then that's not a lane for you.
True. That is very true. And speaking with that, talking about A Different World, and we talking about the TV shows, they're doing a sequel show to A Different World. So Dwayne Wayne and Kim, they have a daughter in college. So that's going to be the sequel show, which I thought was grownish because that was more like that type of thing, but for adults, for they do Millennium. But yes, they're gonna have A Different World new spinoff show. So it's still coming. They're still making them. They're still doing them. I don't think right now that nostalgia train is gonna leave the station. It's here to stay for a while.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't even know if it needs to. My thought went to, I wonder if, and I haven't looked at any of the numbers, but I wonder if they've just identified millennials as more consumer based.
We definitely are.
Than our, younger generations, because they're more creative and pioneering in their own content. I think more so.
True.
Whereas millennials might be more just consumers of that content.
Yeah, I was seeing something before a while back. I think what it is that for millennials, we have the money for it. We didn't have the money at the time. Okay. So now that we do, it's like, all right, I'm gonna spend it on this and this and this and this, and they're picking up on that. So that's why we're getting so many different sequels and different things being sold, and they just keep putting it out there because those millennials we're just buying it. We're buying all the stuff that reminded us of that time. We're just paying for it now and stuff. What is it? With Disneyland and Disney, all that Disney World, whatever. There's more adults going there than the actual children right now.
They actually have a Disney restaurant too, so it's yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, I didn't know any kid that was able to go to Disney, do any Disney parks or whatever as a kid. So, and I find myself now seeing friends and as adults got their kids now, they're going. They out of here. They go in there at least once or twice a year if they can. So they're fulfilling that childhood thing that they've been wanting to do for so long, and now they're there. And I remember, I think it was a couple years ago, I finally got to do my Disney trip, and there was a lot more adults than kids there.
Yeah. I did just like an adult too, so I get that.
Yeah. So we have the grown-up money now, so we are able to do those things and buy those IPs that we wanted to get when we were kids and stuff. So, and now they just reissuing it too. So it was like, oh, this is out here. We still got molds or whatever. Just stamp it up and put a new year on it. We're good. So I mean, and I think even with foods and stuff, like they're doing little things here and there for like certain restaurants. They're like, oh, you remember this when you was a kid? We're bringing it back. So it's something that I don't know how. The only thing with the nostalgia stuff when it comes to that is the pricing, because those things didn't cost as much as when we were kids, but they're overly priced now with a lot of things. So with like tours, concerts and stuff, and you want to get those old feelings back, but they come with a price. So so if you really want to see B2K again, you going to spend a few dollars.
Yeah. That's for sure. I think, you're either going to pay for nostalgia or pay for therapy. It's one or the other. I mean, for some of it, if you're using nostalgia as the therapy, right? Yeah. It's like, what's it worth for you? I think, there was something I saw online with like how much certain VHSs were going for.
Oh, yeah, that's coming back now.
I was just like, somebody get my grandmother on the phone right now, okay? I'm coming to raid her house. And again, these are things that a lot of these things we threw away. And so the hoarders are really winning in life right now.
I'm mad because I threw away so many VHSs before I moved to this apartment, from my old apartment. I'm like, what? I was talked into throwing them away. That's the thing. And I was like, I guess so. I mean, nobody's buying this. Nobody's watching it. I guess so. Now I heard about that. And I was like, I could have been selling that stuff on eBay and whatnot and making a good grip of money right there. So, when it comes to your profession, like, I'm not sure, like with clients or whatnot before, does nostalgia play a part in certain things? Like when they harken back on certain trauma or, whatever the subject matter is. But like, I have a feeling like they go back to a certain time point in the, when they were kids and when things were a little bit easier, maybe. Does it play a part a little bit?
I think, the past plays a role to some degree for everyone.
Yeah.
As a conversation about nostalgia, I don't know if that's the way that it's framed often.
Right.
But kind of going back to, thoughts of times when things were maybe easier or felt more safe or more predictable, or times that they relish in, like those types of conversations for sure. And also kind of understanding, like, okay, well, how have you coped through time, right? So, using nostalgia as a coping, right? Some people kind of clinging to the past as a way of coping, because that's predictable, it's safe, it's comfortable,
right?
Comforting. So, yes, not in the same context, though.
Okay. I guess it would just be me. Like, I remember when I had this toy and then they took it away from me, and I missed it so much. I
don't think I heard that as a trauma yet.
I got a couple Toy Stories.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, we definitely had conversations about, just there's definitely been conversations around the changes in society. How things have changed from when they were younger or we were younger.
Yeah.
How, they're raising their children now and the types of things that they want to expose their kids to, and, just kind of exposing them to more experiences than they were afforded at the same age as their kids.
Right.
Like things like that for sure. It's like that for sure. Like I said, like bridging that generational gap between, our experiences and, the experiences of generations that come after us. Some are, very, very capable of being able to recreate those experiences. Others, just finding other things like, creating DIYs for their kids.
Right.
And, even like little things like seeing kids ride bikes down the street or having like little lemonade stands.
Yeah.
I get to see that here in my neighborhood, but some kids don't have that at all. Like, you have never struggled. You have never been a hustler if you've never sold lemonade.
Yeah.
Or had to sell them daggone candy bars for a fundraiser.
No, you know what? A kid came to me the other day about selling candy. I didn't want any candy. I just gave him $5. It was like, here, just take it. Because I was just more like, because all I had was like in cash was like $5. Like, here, take it. Yeah. I didn't want no candy. It was just the fact that he was selling candy. It was like, y'all still doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just take it. Like, I was just excited to see that. Oh my God, it was cool. What is it? Gosh, I talked to a guy I had another guest the other day for an episode, and he was a really cool dude, really cool guy. And we're talking about Michael Jackson, and just the fact that he didn't know anything about Michael Jackson until he died, and it just showed me the gap, the age gap between us, and as we're talking, and like the influences and stuff and whatnot. And I'm like, oh man, you never got to be there. He wasn't around when he was actually on point, like doing stuff. When when the music videos was like the thing to show up on TV at 8:00 or 9:00. Like, you didn't get to see that. Like when Remember the Time was on, like they put it as a main primetime episode type of TV show type of thing. It was only like 5 minutes. Or the Scream video, like you didn't get to see that. Like, those, like, they prepared you at the time. Like, hey, don't forget Thursday at 8:00 on BET, the premiere of Scream, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That was the thing, and it was like everybody watched those, and then you talk about it the next day or whatever. But now you have to go back and look at it on YouTube and everything. And it's like, wow, they missed out on some of those things. And then I had a friend of mine, we talked about a lot of the nostalgia of it all. We got to see our people, these icons that people they're gone now. We got to see them when they were alive in their prime, performing on award shows and everything else. And now people got to watch those shows and those moments on YouTube just to know what it's like. And it's like, it's a little bit, it's kind of a weird feeling like, oh man, I'm either, I don't know if I'm lucky or just damn, I'm old. So maybe it's both. Like, yeah, a little bit of both. So like, you know, so when I saw like even just seeing this kid with the candy, I was like, wow, here, I wish I had more money. This is like, damn.
Yeah, I ran into a kid selling candy bars down at the beach, maybe like just a few weeks ago. I mean, before it went from summer to to immediately.
New England weather.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always good to see like kids have those experiences. I also know some really young kids that do know who Michael Jackson is. I'm like, you can keep Michael Jackson alive in your house. But you know, so there's a lot of different experiences, and obviously, you know, household to household, and you know, just culturally, like amongst each other, you know, we have subcultures, obviously. Where some people are just not in that loop. And I can say, you know, some of these things, of course, will make us feel old, right? I think the other part being that so much shifted so fast that it's not even like a whole lot of time passed. It's just so much was going on. Yeah,
it's true. Like you said, you were hustling and stuff. I was selling CDs in school. I was selling CDs. I don't
want to admit that out loud.
It was mixtapes. I don't care. It was homemade mixtapes on CDs.
Take it away.
You know, this is how old it was. This is when Locked Up first came out.
Okay.
The Akon's locked up, and it was like we had to put that on there because that's the new one. We got to put that on there. We was on LimeWire and all that stuff. Yeah, we trying to make a buck. We make a buck out of there, you know.
LimeWire, beer share.
We was out there.
Uvu before.
Jesus, you know how horrible it was trying to figure out my webcam to do Uvu was a mess. Like it just never worked out for me. It was so dark. It was just what was the other one? The other camera, we don't use it anymore at all. It was like Uvu, but it was like the more broad one everybody used. I can't even think of it. Gosh, it was. I can't even think. It's not coming to me. But it was like, damn it. And I use it all the time. So just, damn it. Thank you, Apple, and bringing iPhones and bringing technology to a whole new platform and IG and all that stuff. Because man, we had a heck of a time trying to figure having to get that whole thing set, because our phones didn't have, even just looking at our phones.
My brother did not have any camera. It didn't have a front camera.
I had a phone with a flashlight on it, and they used that was cutting edge right there. That was cutting edge. That was cutting edge. No one liked me for a minute. Everybody made fun of me until we go to a party and they lost their keys and like, use your flashlight. That's the only time that came in helpful. So So I mean, even with just looking at our phones, like, we had phones that was like separate from each other. Every phone was different. Everybody's phone had a different look. Now all of our phones are pretty much the same. We all got the same phone now.
Well, we had the same manufacturer for a while, so But also, I mean, they did come back out with flip phones. I mean, that's something that definitely came back. I don't know if I care for the price point that it came back at, but it came back.
Nah. I really missed the flip though. I missed the flip.
there's something certain about hanging up with the flip.
You know what was that? What was like? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Bam! Just like that little. Hey, did you hear that on the other end?
Yeah.
Oh, good old days.
Good times. It's a very, very good times.
If they bring back the Sidekick, I'm throwing away my iPhone though.
I think they did though.
Don't tell me that. Don't give me
hope. I think T-Mobile did.
Don't do that.
Or something that's similar to it.
It might be something similar, but it ain't the Sidekick.
Is it a Samsung? No.
It's T-Mobile. T-Mobile has Sidekick.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think what
the
brand.
Company.
Yeah,
I think it was
T-Mobile for sure. But
I think it was Samsung or LG? I
don't know. But yeah, they definitely came back with the flip phones. I believe they also have something that is if it's not like the Sidekick, then it would be like the Samsung Gravity. So the Gravity came out long before the Galaxies came out, and you just slid it up and it had the keypad.
I had one. I didn't have that one, but I did have an LG version that slid up, but it also did the open up like the clam and everything too. So yeah, I was always into like the technology of like the multifunctional aspect of a cell phone, just so I could pull it out and people were like, "Oh, what is that?" I just like that moment. I like to show that phone off. Like, "Oh, what is that?" moment. Just so cool. Yeah. But we don't got that now. Just you pull the phone out and that's it. I mean, everything's all up to date. I like it. It's cool. It's new functionalities and all that within the phone. But I do miss that little bit of slide or whatever shit, clam. Hey, but maybe just like the clothes and everything, it'll come back around eventually. Maybe to Apple, because it ain't happened yet.
Okay.
It ain't happened yet. So trust me, I was disappointed with that. With the 17 came out and it didn't flip or slide. So
I don't do Apple. I'm sorry.
I had a feeling that you don't do Apple because I kind of felt that when I mentioned it like a second ago, and yeah, I felt that you're like a green bubble person.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
but I know in terms of tech, Samsung's been more advanced on tech. So
Samsung as a company has always been good. Like they've always been like really good with their stuff. So
well, I like options, and Samsungs tend to have more options than iPhones.
Yes, because I know.
Like even down to FaceTime. Like someone was like, "Oh, but I can't FaceTime you," and I was like, "Just send me the link." And they're like, "You can get a link." I'm like, "Yeah, just send me the link. I can join your FaceTime."
Well,
we have video calling, on Samsung, whatever. But like, there's no real barriers here.
Well, just in Apple defense, we can talk to everybody now. There's no barrier now with the. I'm trying to defend Apple, but I really don't have nothing to stand on.
No, I actually used to share office with IT when I worked at the hospital, and I asked him this question. So I was just like, okay, so Samsung or iPhone? And he basically said, like, for work, for business purposes, iPhone for sure, because you're able to sandbox it. Like if you ever needed to lock certain apps in your phone for like privacy purposes,
right?
If you have anything that pertains to like client data and stuff like that, like iPhone is far easier to control. But as far as like user friendliness and options, like on the day-to-day, just having a phone,
right? So
yeah.
There's a museum. I don't know if you're aware of this. Speaking with nostalgia, there's a museum. I gotta find it and I'll send it to you. But there's a museum that has pretty much every cell phone that was ever made. So you could really go to a museum and go and see your own history in an exhibit to show this. Oh my God! I had this phone at this age. I had this phone when I was this age. You get some kid can be like, "Oh, I never seen that before." You could tell that person, that kid or whoever, "Oh yeah, I had that phone. That was my phone when I was this age, and it did this and it did this." Like our history in a way is now there in live action, like in present day. How do you feel about that? Like,
I'm not going. I still have some of my phones. No, I still have some of my phones here.
So you could donate. So you could donate to the museum if they need extras.
For what? For research purposes? They already got a copy over there. They got it. Oh, yeah, no, you need to call those people up. I need to, I was telling someone, like, before the cloud, we only had our memory card. So if your phone got stolen, that's all the memories you made. That whole year, they're gone.
Yeah.
And that really sucks.
Yeah, you can take that SIM card and put it to a new phone and whatnot. And
yeah. So that's the only thing that I would really want back is some of my memory cards. But outside of that, I mean, technology is supposed to evolve. I think that's one of the greatest parts about our culture right now. For better or for worse. I mean, AI is a slippery slope, but here we are. I think there's a lot of benefits to tech progression. I don't really have an interest in going back technologically.
No, there's no need to go back.
No. But I think in terms of like nostalgia, it's like, oh, that's cute. Moving on. Right? When it comes to that, it's like, oh, that's cute, and we move on.
Well, I always like the look of things to be a little bit from back in the day, but with the tech now, everything updated.
Yeah, I think some of it was just more functional. I think the functionality of certain things I can definitely value. I still have, value for. But in terms of like, I don't want to go back to not having a front camera. What is that? I love the fact that I can work from my phone. When I was in college, my laptop fell off my bed and it broke. And I had to do my papers on my BlackBerry, okay? And that was like amazing for me because I didn't have money for another laptop. Like I was broke. So, there's that. And then when your parents feel like they're teaching you a lesson, like, oh, well, you should take care of your things and blah, blah, blah. Like, send me the money.
Yeah.
Right? But obviously, that wasn't it.
The BlackBerry was forget what I said about Team Sidekick. If they bring back the BlackBerry, I will go back because I had a BlackBerry before the iPhone, and I love my BlackBerry. So, like you said, you could do so much at the time with that.
I feel like the BlackBerry is a step back for me right now. Like I love my Galaxy so bad. Like I can still write papers on here. I can pull research. I can split my screen here. Yeah. I can do a lot.
I mean, they could do the same thing.
Split screen. The BlackBerry was not doing split screen.
I mean, they could do a newer, updated one. But I mean, they pretty much, but they are out of business anyway. So it's like I don't think that'll ever happen. So,
there's a lot of companies that went out of business and then they resurged. So there's that. So I don't know that would stop them. I think it would just be what's the demand for it.
True.
And again, they make a lot of money off, nostalgia. So I don't have a doubt that it's possible. I just, when it comes to like, what do we want to keep current? There's some pros and cons on these things. And I think that's like for any part of your life, right? Like there's going to be parts of your past that you want to bring to the future with you and some that should probably stay in the past, right? And how we rate those things makes a difference.
Right.
And it depends on who you talk to and what lifestyle and how it fits into whatever you have going on. So, as far as like tech though, I like tech advancement. The only thing I'm kind of questioning right now is AI.
It's scary. It is scary. A little scary. It's cool, but a little scary. The things that it could do so far and what it potentially be able to do in a few years.
Yeah, I think it's the conversation of freedom versus responsibility, right? So like with more freedoms, more opportunities, there comes more responsibility. And I just don't know that the majority of the population is as responsible as they need to be in order to maintain this as a functional thing that is worth maintaining.
Yeah, and when we speak of just harking on the whole thing of like movies and stuff, nostalgia, like we had movies that pretty much talked about this stuff that we're in now, that showed, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, y'all, if y'all decide to do this in the future. So it's like, I hope somebody's kind of like understanding, like, especially with AI, hey, y'all never see The Matrix? like some things maybe never should do, we shouldn't do, or maybe we should like put a blockage on certain things when it comes to AI, because I feel like it eventually is going to be able to, like, you can frame people in the future, like with the way things are now. Like, right now you got AI Michael Jackson running around with KFC, and it looks just like him, sounds just like him, and it's like he's been gone for years right now. So, but it looks like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, there's just certain things that just have to be done more responsibly. I also have to keep in mind, like, the implications of what is to be considered. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are not even thinking that far. IQ in America is going down, not up. So, we were at 100. I think we're at like 98 as a country.
Why do you think so? Right now with that.
Why are we getting dumber?
Yeah. What?
Just lack of critical thought. I think, the more you spoon feed people, the less challenging that the opportunity for challenges to grow their problem solving skills, to grow their, like I said, levels of critical thought or understanding of implications, or even just the considerations, their ability to do independent research. Like there's a ton of different things. I think groupthink came into play very, very heavily, especially during times of COVID.
Right.
People in survival mode tend to respond very differently, right? Like we have a lot of variation, and I think when there is a public outcry for a certain response, when you have how do I say this? Like, there's no PC way to say it. Like, there's you just have people who think independently, and then you have people who follow the leader. That is the reality. Right?
Oh, yes.
And you have some people who just go against the grain for the sake of going against the grain without real knowledge of why, right? And when you have those different categories of people, the loudest one tends to win, right? And I think, especially during times of survival like COVID, right? Have people banding together for what looks like survival, and it comes to groupthink. And I think, that ability to self-validate is really important. A lot of people don't have that, even outside of anything that's happened in recent times, just in ways that they were raised. Just wanting acceptance from others. I know some people experience like bullying growing up, or like feeling ignored or wanting to fit in, and I think some people never grow out of that. Not on their own, right? Like, it's possible to grow out of it, it's possible to work past it or through it, but on their own, as is, with their specific personality type and the skills that they have, they're just not in that space. So groupthink, I think, is one of the main things that impact that IQ. That and lack of challenging, like, if you're just doing things without considering, why am I doing this? Why is this necessary? Or like, what are the alternatives? Or like, how is this going to play out long term? You just it doesn't look very smart a lot of the time. And it has this impact, and then these people have kids. And they teach their kids to think like them.
Yeah, that's not good.
And it just gets worse. There's a movie called Idiocracy.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, we're in that movie right now.
Yeah, all right. I've watched about 40 minutes of it. I have to finish it.
It's worth it.
I literally just saw it yesterday. I'm like, I gotta finish watching that this weekend. So, and I'm like, I'm already wearing Crocs. Oh crap! They wear Crocs, and it's ahead of its time too.
And I don't have Crocs.
I used
to rebel, right?
I used to hate Crocs. I still think they're ugly, but I can't deny that they are comfortable. So that's the part I hate about it. Is like shit. I was hoping they were wrong about it, but I survived. I survived with my friends walking around New York, and I had Crocs on. They were tired. They were hurting the next day. I was perfectly fine.
I mean, I think there's a lot of other comfortable options that don't necessarily have to be popularized fashion things, right? Like there's a reason why Crocs exist, and who they were marketed to makes sense, but they weren't marketed to be bedazzled. This was not, the goal here, and here we are, right? Yeah. And it's just, I think that movie is just a testament to what happens when we just kind of go with the flow, with the loudest person in the room.
Yeah.
The loudest doesn't mean the smartest. It doesn't mean the most informed. It doesn't mean the most capable. But the loudest person seems to be the one who's most self-assured, and typically self-assured people have some reason to be self-assured, except you have a lot of people who don't have a reason. They just are.
It's crazy how that movie is. Yeah, it is crazy how crazy accurate that is right now. Like I really I'm watching him like, oh my god, this is happening now. But this is made like 15 years ago. Like that's crazy. And but it's like certain movies. I feel like there's always a thing where movies don't always hit in the time that it comes out, but it starts to catch on later, and that's when it becomes a cult following, and people talked about it, and I didn't understand when people talked about it, and then I looked at it and was like, oh, they're right, because I see it, and like you said, the loudest person in the room, and I'm like watching him like, all that right now, so it's. That is scary when it's really life imitating, like when art is imitating life.
Life imitates art, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so ahead. It's so early. It's like the prediction of it is so early, and it's just like, no, they were just writing a story. But look where we are.
So what's really interesting is oftentimes when you have people who can see the implications, they're ignored a lot. And so those people find creative ways to make themselves heard, right? And some of those creative ways include art, right? Movies being a form of art, and or media being a form of art. And it gets the message across to people who are willing to understand it. Other people just see it as entertainment. And I think, of course, there's entertainment that sits on our subconscious, and it kind of deposits there, and we somewhere in the back of our mind remember like, oh wait, this looks like that. How frequent does it happen, at a global rate? I don't know. But I think it's definitely something worth noting.
Yeah, I think that's what we have right now when people keep going back to like the Simpsons episodes, and they're like, oh my god, this happened on The Simpsons. It's happening now. Like, and what you're saying, people are thinking ahead, and they just like they put it in a show or a movie. Maybe people figure it out later, and maybe they don't. But it's there. They got to get that thought out, and they put it into their work. So
there's always truth in jokes. So
yeah, true. So I want to thank you for coming on. I don't want to take too much of your time because I really appreciate you giving up some time to be on here. Where can people find you if you want them to find you? Because you have a profession. If they want to, contact you and, sit on the couch a little bit and talk about whatever.
Yeah, so my website is at growingpeacecounseling.org. It's peace, P-E-A-C-E. People are able to send inquiries there. They're able to request appointments there. They're able to kind of see what's happening there as well. It has my contact details. They're able to send me messages directly if they have any specific requests or things that relate to my work there.
Awesome. Well, you heard it there. You know to find her. Make sure you go contact her for serious inquiries only. Don't go there for anything else. Serious inquiries, please. And thank you guys for watching this show. This is very informative, and I'm glad that we got the chance to talk and, just have this moment to get it out there. Like, I've been wanting to have this for a while, to get this with you, and I'm glad that we made it happen. For everyone hopping on right now, however you're digesting this information, either you're like visually watching it or by audio wise, Spotify, Apple, thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. This is the BearatNight podcast. This is Valayshia. This is Dom. See you guys next week. Bear it all, be yourself. See you next Tuesday. Peace.